What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test or flu, RSV, or any virus, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long-term issues and no long-term COVID issues if COVID is what you have right now. It is time now for the Saturday edition of the Pandemic Update for Saturday, December 16th, 2023. First off, I was out into the wild today. I did see a few more masks, but not enough. And some of the people I did see masking, guess what? They looked and sounded visibly sick. So this is not good. I know the messaging from the CDC has been, or at least at one time they said, well, if you're sick after 5 days, you can go back out. You have to wear a mask. No. If you're sick, stay home until you are no longer sick. Please, please do that. And also a reminder, if you are new to my channel, hit that like button at the end of the video and subscribe down below. I will help and try my best to keep you safe. You may have saw my picture on Twitter. I was up in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania today. That's the Christmas city. It was pretty busy up there. And like I just said, I did see some people masking. Nowhere near enough, though. A lot of people weren't. As you know, I was N95 masked. Hopefully that kept me safe today. Fingers crossed, folks, because it is really dangerous out there right now. I'm to the point I want to say the caffeine meter. You know, we talked about a caffeine meter yesterday. I almost want to say that is up to 10 out of 10. It's just crazy right now. And one of the reasons is a new COVID variant is spreading fast in the U.S. And this is coming from NBC and Today. And they're saying these are its most common symptoms. Well, we know this is JN.1. I agree with a lot of this. I don't agree with all of it. Here are the symptoms they're saying that are being caused by JN.1. Sore throat, congestion, runny nose, cough, fatigue, headache, muscle aches, fever or chills, loss of sense or taste or smell. That last one, as you know, both of my parents have had COVID this year. My dad back in September, my mom back in the spring, and I know several other people who have had COVID. None of them had the loss of sense of taste or smell. However, they did have, not my parents, but someone else I know, did have where if they ate something, it just did not agree with them. They did not feel like eating. Things tasted okay. They just didn't feel like eating. And they lost a ton of weight in a really short period of time. And it should say on here shortness of breath. I know people who have had shortness of breath, and that is not listed. Speaking of a new variant rapidly spreading into the U.S., let's take a look at this. This is from Twitter. This is from someone who tweets great stuff all the time, and he put a point of comparison here since 2022. The time it took a lineage family to grow from 0.1 to 50% globally. EG.5 variant, 6.5 months. XBB 1.5, 3.5 months. BA.2, 2.5 months. JN.1, 2.5 months. BA.5, 2.5 months. BA.1, just a month and a quarter, 1.25 months. So JN.1 has clearly spread it to 50%, much faster than the other most recent variants that we have seen over the past year or so. That's not good when we see a variant spreading fast. The only good thing that could come out of this is it spread fast. It's going to probably likely be the dominating variant in the U.S. on the next update. Maybe the peak will be faster. We'll just have to wait and see. If you recall, EG.5 was a long duration wave. It just steadily went up. JN.1 is a rapidly rising wave. Not as fast as BA.1, as you can see here. It didn't take as much time for BA.1 to become dominant over 50% around the world, but yeah, as you can see here, JN.1 is definitely faster. All right, take a look at this. Just reading the headline here. You might have heard the word long flu a couple times. I think we mentioned it once. There was a story about it. Study shows long COVID worse for patients than long flu. Well, hello. Surprise, surprise. Who could have expected this? Yes, there are many studies that show there are many more long-term effects with COVID than there are with flu. All right, moving on to this now. Long COVID makes me feel like I've disappeared from the world. This has to do with a person. Her name is Joy Reid, and We're not going to read the whole story, but the point is, look at this. She's now in a wheelchair. Yes, COVID does this. And am I seeing oxygen here? Yes, COVID does this. Take these pictures seriously. This is a person who did not have problems before COVID. 2 years ago, I was a fit, active, bubbly, and socially an energetic journalist. And look, here's her current state. This is so sad. But yet everyone thinks, oh, I can go out in big crowds without a mask. I had a mask on today. We're not going to say what my parents did. We won't go there because, well, you can guess. They did not mask today. Was I happy about it? No, I was very, very mad with them. I actually told them off about it, but again, we're not going to go there. Let's just go on to the next story. I mean, look, pictures tell a million words. 2 pictures. If you can see these pictures, please put a mask on. You need to do that. Please. Japan flu cases hit high levels at fastest pace in 10 years. What about COVID? Well, we don't need to read this, but, first off, there hasn't been any immunity to flu because there has been flu. Now, throw that out the window. We can't talk about that. This debt immunity, this whole thing about immunity, that's a bunch of hogwash. What we do know is COVID weakens the immune system. Anyone with a weakened immune system is more susceptible to catching one of these other viruses, such as flu, influenza, and there you go. Because of that, people who have had COVID are catching other viruses easily. It's allowing them to spread more easily, and there you have it. Japan flu cases have now hit high levels at the fastest pace in 10 years. So this whole thing that, well, there hasn't been cases in a while, and people don't have any immunity to such and such virus. No, that's hogwash. That is failed messaging. How long can we let these failed messages go on and on and on and on and let people believe that that's the reason why things are spreading? No, COVID is the reason why things are the way they are now. And then we come to this. We go up to Canada. I don't think we shared this week. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. This is in Ottawa. It's in Hamilton. Monkeypox detected in Hamilton wastewater testing. Yes, another case. It's something we're going to be watching. We're going to be looking to see if we see any Mpox cases tomorrow. And this should say Mpox. Monkeypox is not what it's called anymore. It's called Mpox. So if you're a journalist and you do health reporting and you stumble on one of my videos and I show a video that says monkeypox and that's your article, please go back and fix it. Go back and fix it. Because I'm now correcting myself. You caught me off guard there. It's Mpox. It should be written as Mpox in your headlines, not monkeypox anymore. Even the WHO calls it Mpox now. Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's briefly take a look at air qualities. And let's see here. Air qualities, not all that bad. I mean, we're seeing this Great Lakes here. I honestly don't know what this is all about. There's going to be a big storm system in the east tomorrow. Look out for that. If I had enough time in the day, I would still be doing my climate channel, and I would be discussing about that with you. Maybe at some point we can get back to doing maybe a weekly video with the climate stories of the week. Maybe we'll do something with that. West Coast, yeah, pretty bad. And again, middle I-95 corridor is pretty bad. Maybe there's just a lot of emissions out there from all these people out holiday shopping. I don't know. It's bad. Taking a look at Walgreens this week, 29.3% COVID positivity. It's rising in the United States. Let's briefly take a look at wastewater. We're going to do the wastewater update tomorrow. And one of the things we're going to be looking for, as just mentioned about Mpox, we will be looking on the wastewater scan site to see if we see any Mpox detection. And of course, all the other viruses. And do I need to even say anything about this? Look how much red there now is on the CDC map. 311, 310 red sites, 399 orange sites. The Great Lakes. Look at this. This is just ridiculous. If you are in the Chicago area right now, please do not leave your house without masking. Put on one of these masks. Just pick one, N95 or better, and put it on. COVID is clearly everywhere right now. The West Coast is a little slower to the ball game. That's eventually going to change. And mind you, there's some gray sites on here, which means they're not updating. Look at this. Wastewater levels high on this map. High COVID. Yeah. Don't even need to show you that. Growing. COVID growing. That's in a lot of places. Likely growing. That's in a lot of places. There are a few states that are declining a little bit. That's a little bit of a surprise. Again, remember, we said JN.1. It's moving really rapidly. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see some areas have a slightly earlier peak than detected. Why? That's because of the fact that I think we're a little further along in this wave than we know about. Testing is just so bad. So our data is not the greatest, and with me saying that, who knows? Maybe these likely declining areas, there's 4 states, Michigan, New Mexico, Arizona, and Oregon. Maybe that's actually not really happening, and it's just because the data is so bad. I honestly do not know, but the wastewater signals in the Midwest, I mean, you just saw the Great Lakes. It's absolutely insane right now. How many red sites there are. Here's the latest variance. This is likely way off. JN.1 is likely much higher than 21.4%. If I had to take a guess, and I'm going to, it's north of 30% right now. And HV.1 is lower, and JN.1 would likely be dominating right now. Hospital admissions, 23,432. They did rise, but they did not rise as fast as previous weeks. Only up 3.1%, so that is not a terrible thing. And now let's come over to this. 838 EMS incidents in Philadelphia County yesterday. Yeah, Philadelphia County, Pennsylvania. That's a lot of EMS incidents. Live looking at Montgomery County, we see not terrible, but there are some diabetic emergencies, strokes. Going over to Chester County, Pennsylvania, not that busy right now, and that is good to see. New Jersey, let's see what's going on in New Jersey. I have to refresh this. Apologies, because that is incorrect. New Jersey right now is seeing 741 hospitalizations. Wow. So that number continues to rise, and that's with 2 hospitals not reporting. Yeah, New Jersey yesterday was 751. But again, with 2 hospitals not reporting, yesterday was 70 out of 70. Yeah, that tells us this number is likely higher than what we are seeing here. New York State, the most recent numbers for New York State is 4,170 new cases, and I have to refresh the current hospitalizations, and it usually does it anyhow. Hospitalizations in New York State, they continue to rise at this time. They're up to 1,840. And let's take a look at the latest numbers from California, which I already did refresh. And you can see here, COVID test, yep. Positivity, look at that. It's continuing to go up. Hospital admissions in California, they did go down ever so slightly. That's interesting. So they were starting to rise and now they're dropping. Don't know what that's about. The West Coast has not been rising as fast as the East Coast. We'll have to see what happens post Christmas and then post New Year's. Sometimes California, while the rest of the country is peaking, there's always often a few states in the West Coast that does not peak until later on because it takes them longer to get the ball rolling. Influenza, however, in California, look at this. Rapidly going up at this time. Wow. Really going up. That's not good. And influenza hospital admissions. Yeah, it's getting to be pretty starting to turn severe in California. That's a bit concerning at this time. Not something we like to see. LA, COVID hospitalizations. They do continue to rise at this time, but also they haven't updated recently. No update since the 8th. I refreshed this earlier today when I was preparing this morning. Didn't see an update, so don't know what the deal is here. Come on, LA. Update your data. Cases. Yep, that's not updating either. Hasn't updated since, look at that, December 4th. Alrighty, guys, that does it for today's pandemic update. Although, let me add one more thing in. Take a look at this. Influenza levels around the country. Louisiana and South Carolina, now the first very high levels of the season. At the highest levels, and we also have very high in Mississippi and Alabama, but again, Louisiana and South Carolina really stick out because they're at the highest levels on the chart. And we're starting to see more coloring fill up in the rest of the country. Yes, influenza is rising. Let's just face it, my friends. The virus season. COVID season's all year round. Virus season, the winter virus season. It's here. It's severe. And yes, it's really taken off. COVID, RSV, influenza, pneumonia. you name it, tuberculosis. Yes, we've seen tuberculosis cases this year as well. Everything is really rising, and it's just a combination of the viruses this year is what's causing things to be at pandemic levels. We know the hospitals are busy. CDC is reporting that children's hospitals are already at their peaks of last year's virus season. So yeah, it's just not good, and we have several more weeks to go until we hit the peak of virus season. So please, whatever you do, do it safely, mask up. That does it for today's pandemic update. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone that needs to see this content, share it with them. If you have a comment, anything you would like to say, by all means, leave it down below. And who knows, maybe I'll respond to it. I try to respond to as many as possible. I will see you guys all again tomorrow. Until I see you again tomorrow, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Saturday evening.